Okay, I'd like to introduce you to the Pelican Remote Area Lighting Range, otherwise known as the RELs. The RELs are portable, large area lighting systems, ideal for large scene lighting. The Pelican 9490 is a person portable light. The unit itself weighs just under 15 kilos and is an all-in-one unit. Operation of the unit is extremely easy. First and foremost, the battery that sits in the main housing is able to be separated from the body itself. So it's just a matter of clipping it out, and it then separates into the body and the battery. The beauty of that is that if you have to take the light into a remote location, rather than carrying the full weight, you can split it so one person can carry the battery and one person can carry the housing. When you then need to operate the light, you just simply slide the battery back into place, lock it in, and you're good to go. The battery also has a display unit on it that will tell you how much charge is in the battery in terms of the colour bars, so that you can see whether it needs recharging or whether itself is fully charged. The unit itself has a built-in mast. So you have the big lock nut at the base, and it has extendable sections which allows you to take the unit up to 1.8 metres in height. The head itself will rotate 340 degrees, and the control panel is set here on the front of the unit. So when we turn it on, it will first of all come on at its full 6,000 lumen output. The unit has on board the ability to set it at 3 levels. So as I said, when you first turn it on, it comes on at high, which is 6,000 lumens with a run time of 3 hours. You can then take it down to medium, which is 4,000 lumens with a run time of 6 hours. And then we can take it down to low, which is 2,000 lumen and a run time of up to 24 hours. You also have the ability to manually adjust the light output. And the beauty of that is, for instance, if you were called out to a job and it was dark at 6 p.m. and perhaps you're out for an hour, you come back to your base, you've put the vehicle away with the light, and you're called out again at 2 o'clock in the morning. Now, you know at this time of the year, sun up is at about 6:30. So what you can then do is adjust the output on the unit to 4.5 hours. And what is occurring as I do this is it is calculating as a unit the amount of storage of power versus the light output. And the light itself will adjust to give you the maximum output for the period of time that you require it to work for. One of the other useful benefits or advantages of this particular unit is quite simply that the mast sitting up in the upright position, but if you happen to work over the edge of a cliff, over a pit or similar, the mast itself, and we'll just shorten it down for the purpose of this, the mast itself can actually be locked in at varying angles. So if, for instance, you're working over the edge of a pit or a cliff, you can actually lock the mast and have the light shining down into the work area, but actually keep the body of the light itself away from the edge. It's this type of versatility which makes the 9490 an excellent light. Now, the other advantages of it are, as a battery powered light, there's no noise. So you can hear the wildlife singing. There's no heat because it's LED. There's no leads, there's no fuel, there's no generator noise. And the other good part of the unit is the moment you switch it off, you can just quite simply pack it up straight away, pack it up, and away you go. The other thing about the Pelican 9490, also its bigger brother, the 9460 and the 9440, which we'll show you later, is that these units are also Bluetooth controlled. So if you download the app from your app store, you can actually lock on to the particular unit and you can control the functions in terms of the light output and the runtime from a smartphone. So if you're in a situation where you need to have the light remotely deployed, as long as you're within range of the actual unit itself, you can then operate it completely from your mobile phone. So that's the Pelican 9490. One of the accessories that's also available for it is the in-vehicle charger, which is a trickle charge unit which allows you to charge the battery in the unit while it's in the vehicle. Now, as I mentioned, the 9490 has a 3-hour runtime on high, up to 24 hours on low. But as you saw earlier, if the battery runs low, if you have a second battery, then it's simply a matter of sliding the old battery out, sliding the new charged battery in, and you're good to go. Which enhances again your operational capability in terms of the fact that you can maintain continuous light running from the same unit. Another feature of the Pelican Remote Area Lights is quite simply that they will run direct from mains power. If you do run the units from mains power, they will only run at 75% of their rated light output, which gives them equilibrium in terms of charge in and charge out. Although manually you can increase them up to 100%, but when you do that there will be a small drain on the battery, but you will get a far longer run time while conserving the battery to use in an environment perhaps where you haven't got power available to you. So that's the Pelican 9490. Okay, I'd now like to introduce you to the Pelican 9460, the big brother of the Pelican 9490. The unit itself weighs 25 kilos, so in itself it is a lot heavier to use as a unit, but it is also twice as powerful, and also the same as the 9490, it's a highly versatile unit. All the operating components are contained within the case itself, so it's a matter of 2 masts and your 2 light heads. To set it up is a very quick process, so it's just a case of closing up the case itself. We then take one of the masts, and the mast just simply screws onto a short thread and then mounts up in the case, and we plug into our power port, and again we just repeat the process. Now you can actually operate this with 1 mast or 2 masts Again, you can operate this with 1 mast or 2 masts depending on your required output. So we've now got the 2 masts fitted. The masts themselves will extend up to a maximum height of 1.8 metres, and again the heads on the 9460 will rotate 340 degrees. So again we'll put this up to the half height. Similar control system as the Pelican 9490 in terms of the onboard display, which is located here at the end of the case. The other thing with the 9460 is that you can use it with the base case sitting either in the upright position as we have it here, or you can lay it down flat for a greater stability area. So same system, when we turn it on we now have twin heads, 12,000 output of light, and you can arc the light out so that we can give a very wide arc of light across the 2 fields. Again, on your display it gives you the run time. You can adjust your outputs from high to medium and down to low. Run and output time, 3 hours on high, 24 hours on low. And you also have the variable controller system, again, which allows you, if you know you have a certain amount of time period that you need to run it for, you can then input that amount of time. The unit itself will adjust the light output to match the run time that you're requiring it to operate for. So I've now just set it at the 7-hour mark, and you can see again the effective level of light. For ease of movement, the unit has the heavy duty wheel system, and it also has an extendable handle for ease of movement. Like all Pelican remote area lights, there's no noise, there's no heat, there's no leads, there's no fuel. So again, it's safer in operation for everybody, and once you're finished with the use of the unit, you just simply do the reverse, turn it off, dismantle your masts and pack everything back up into the housing within the case. So again, it's an all-in-one unit. You have everything. You don't have a separate tripod, a separate light head. It's all in the one case. Okay, the third Pelican remote area light we'd like to introduce you to is the Pelican 9440. This is a large base tripod light. Again, it's an all-in-one unit, and to set it up is very simple. Grab the red lever, push the base down, open up the locking bases, extend the mast as high as you need to, and then you are set up, good to go. Mast height goes up to 2.1 metres. The unit itself, maximum output is 5,300 lumens on high, but it is a short run light in terms of on high it will only run for 90 minutes. Like the other remote area lights, it has 3 light settings, so that's currently on high. We go down to medium, we go down to low. Again, when we're down on the low, we've got an 8-hour run time. Like all the other Pelican remote area lights, no noise, no leads, no heat from the light. And what this one does though is a very good shower, consistent shower of light to light up the area, making it as an ideal immediate area light. To fold it up, it's just the reverse of the setup. So we turn our light off, we bring our head over, take it down to the first section, and of course you can operate it at any stage of its extension heights. Bring this down, turn it around, big red lever on the side, grab that, bring the legs up, push them in, lock down, and that's our light closed up. And that is the Pelican 9440. I'd like to introduce you to my favourite headlamp in the range, the Pelican 2720. It's an all-purpose headlamp. On the right hand side, when we turn on this switch, we have our light, which is adjustable from flood to spot. We then cycle through the switch and we go to night light, and then there's I need help, I'm in trouble, our flashing SOS red light. But where this headlamp stands out is on the left hand side is a white button. When you press that, this is now a motion activated headlamp, which is extremely useful if you've got hands that are covered in substances you don't want to get anywhere near the headlamp. So all you need to do is wave your hand in front of the headlamp to turn it off, and when you need it back on, put your hand back in front of it. Out here, it won't do a thing. You've got to be within 10 to 15 centimetres of the sensor. Light on, light off.